Hi everyone, I'm Heather Centrioni, and after losing 70 pounds, I realized that the true ticket to my happiness was not those size 4 skinny jeans. I now inspire people to be well, to change their mindset, to gain momentum, to transform without another fad diet or quick fix. Sound good? We're all looking to be well, to feel well, all of those sorts of things, and we tend to go to things that we've done before that didn't work, that only led us to failure. We tend to look for the quick fix, the miracle pill, and often we end up further into a hole than when we started. So speaking of the hole and where you are compared to where you started, I have received so many notes in the old inbox about failure, about feeling failure, about feeling lost, not having so much trouble starting over on your journey to be well, and really feeling like, poof, forget it. I'm done. I'm out. I just can't even do it anymore. So I hear you. I've been there. I've been in your shoes. So that's good news. And there are many people that feel that way. So that's good news too. Let's start with this. You learn more from failure and failing at something and not doing well at something than you do from knocking it out of the park. You learn more when you fall on your fanny than you do when you stand up and win an award. You do. It's the falling on the fanny and all that kind of stuff that got you to the success. So don't let this overwhelmingly large sense of failure that all of you are feeling, yeah, that sort of made sense, stop you. Failure builds character. Falling on your buns builds character. Backsliding builds character. And all of those things will make you a better person and will lead you to success. There is one major thing that will help you, but we'll get to that at the end. We'll save the best, we'll save the big bang for the end. Sound good? So let's dive right in here and let's make a list of ways that we can cope with our failure. Because y'all ain't coping. Well, you're coping, you're overeating, you're not treating yourself well. You've got a lot of nasty conversations going on in your head, and you just are making poor decisions. You're not sleeping. You're not doing the things that you know will make you feel better, and you can't figure out why, and you're stuck, and the whole deal. So there are many reasons that you might be feeling failure, and there are a lot of factors that enhance that feeling. Do you feel hopeless? I would say majority of the people that come to me and ask for my help and ask me to help them get well and get it together are coming from a point of hopelessness. They have anxiety. They often have depression. They often feel helpless, like, oh my gosh, I've tried everything. I've had this coach. I've done this program. I've read this book. I've listened to this podcast. Ain't nothing working. What am I going to do, Heather? So they feel not only hopelessness, but helplessness. Many people that come to me are lacking the right support systems and support relationships. And that, they don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that, and I get it. A lot of people have low self-esteem, but are these dynamic, smart, amazing people. But somewhere along the lines, they lost their self-esteem. Many people that come to me are comparing themselves to others. Well, she did it. Well, he did it. Well, so-and-so was able to do this and be successful. And they're taking so much background noise. They never have stepped back to think, hey, what works for me? The road to being well and feeling well and doing well is an individual road, my friends. It is not a one-size-fits-all narrow strip. that you have to like one foot in front of the other, a tightrope to get there. And everyone's doing the same march across the same thin rope. And if anyone falls off, they fall off and they're screwed. No, that is not what this is about. Many people have a very poor, discontent dialogue with themselves going on. The negative self-talk has gone through the roof. And then, my friends, some of you just have completely unrealistic expectations. Either you've put them on yourself or someone else from your past has put them on you. And it's completely unrealistic at this time. Maybe you could get closer to those expectations if you got your, rear in a gear and your poop in a group. But guys, lower your expectations and keep your standards high. Remember that video? All-time runaway home run hit. Lower your expectations and keep your standards high. Stop this crazy business. You guys are driving yourself mad. And in the process, you aren't getting any better. You're not feeling any better. You're getting further and further away from feeling well. So, if you find yourself saying, I'm a failure, I'm feeling like a failure, it's important to know that there are things that you can do. Free things that you can do. I always try and bring this audience free stuff. And I'm always amazed of how many of you don't take me up on the offer. So listen, turn on those listening ears, make sure you have a pen and paper. If not, pause this video, get some, and let's dive in here. Okay, so some ways that Heather suggests can reduce the pain of this overwhelming sense of failure that you are experiencing right now today. Take a deep breath with me, everyone. We all need to breathe more. This would help. Embrace your emotions. Failure comes with a host, a cast of characters. Let's call it that. Okay? What is failure's cast of characters? Embarrassment, anxiety, anger, sadness, shame. What else? Name a few more. Put them down in the comments for me, okay? Those feelings are uncomfortable. Do any of you like to be embarrassed? No. Do any of you love anxiety? No. Do any of you love to be angry? Hell no. I don't like being sad. I don't like feeling shameful. So they're uncomfortable, and many people will do anything they can to escape those. Many people will turn to food and beverage to escape those feelings. And then you escape to food and beverage, and then you feel it even worse than when you started. And quite possibly your embarrassment, anxiety, anger, sadness, shame are exponentially larger than they were beforehand, right? So embrace your emotions. Maybe you can't even really identify them because you're not writing them down. So I would suggest when you're feeling failure, sneak in like the snake that it is. Start writing down, what are you feeling? What emotions are you having? And then let's look at those and let's acknowledge them. Let's go through them. Some of them are just completely made up, so we can cross those right off the list. And let's sort of experience them, weed through them, and figure out if we really, really, really are feeling those things. I mentioned in there sort of part 2 of this. You distract yourself or want to fill the void with food, drinks, sugar. Some people want to fill the void with drugs or alcohol. We all know that those things aren't going to fix the pain. And, you know, they never, maybe it's a temporary relief, but it always backfires, right? And so let's take a look at your coping mechanisms. What are the things you're turning to? If you're turning to food all the time, no wonder you feel unhealthy, okay? I get it. I've said it before. I'll say it again, okay? So that you guys understand. I'd be completely honest with you. I'm an emotional eater. I'm a stress eater. I'm a happy eater. I often sneak food and eat alone. You name it, hang up with food, probably have it, okay? So I get it. And I've really had to like examine all of those things. And where food, and you know, I don't drink sugary drinks anymore. I don't overdrink alcohol. So that's not really an issue. Sometimes caffeine can be an issue just out of laziness. I'll drink too much iced tea instead of water. Or I'll use the iced tea as a flavored fun iced tea as an excuse not to drink the water and as a treat, if you will. Anyway, what are those coping mechanisms that you have? What do you turn to? I would say for the vast majority of us, again, it's food, sugary food, processed food, salty food, sugary drinks, maybe even alcohol, wine. What else? Fill me in below if you're feeling like laying it all out on the line and being honest today. Okay? So, let's look at those. Let's look at those and see, but the only way we can look at those is you have to write them down. You have to catch yourself in the act. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be in the present, my friends. So instead of doing those things, we could start to, the old phone a friend, practice deep breathing, mentioned at the top of the video. We breathe all day long, but none of you breathing, okay? Tune out, go outside, play with a pet, engage with your children, something other than the food, the drink, the alcohol, the drugs, whatever it looks like, okay? And it's hard to do this, guys. I'm not just rattling this off in 20 minutes or less thinking that, you know, we're all going to be solved and it's going to be awesome and we're going to have a victory party somewhere. No. This takes work. This takes work. So what can we replace some of those coping skills with? How can we replace the negative coping skills that we have with some positive coping skills? And the goal here is to push yourself into the present, to acknowledge what you're doing and how you're feeling and what emotions are tied to all of this so that we can fix and edit. I'm all about the scenario. What does it look like? What was the time of day? What were you feeling? What did it smell like? What was going on before, during, after? Set up the story. I want to make a motion picture out of this, but I want to make it beautiful. I want to make it right. Okay? Some of you are hung up on all of this because you have these crazy, I don't know where you got them from, beliefs about failure. Perhaps you equate failure with being bad, a bad person or crappy person. Or you equate failure with never having success. Or maybe you think, this one, if you fail, no one will like you. All of those types of beliefs are absolutely ridiculous, my friends. They can't prevent you from doing things where you might not succeed. Make a point to identify your irrational beliefs that are impacting your ability to succeed. I'm asking you to make a big, long list. I hope you're catching it here. we talked a little bit about this. Where are you with realistic thoughts and goals? Of course, dream big, okay? I always encourage people, dream big. Always dream big. But in your quests to get to whatever the big dream is, you're going to have to be pretty realistic. You're going to have to be pretty consistent to make it there. And if you're not, failure is going to trip you up, slam you right on the ground, and you're going to have a broken tailbone. So seeing the failure as a result of something specific rather than something blah, 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 just out there, you have to find yourself thinking, or you have to find yourself, how do I want to say this? You need to reframe. Remind yourself more realistic thoughts about failure. Failure is a sign that I'm challenging myself. I can handle failure. I can learn from failure. See how that's different from what you guys are saying to yourself about failure? Maybe some of you are brave enough to say down in the comments what you feel about failure versus reframing, editing those thoughts. Just a few changes and a few nuances, and suddenly you've turned a complete nightmare into a dream. Sometimes some of you are completely not able to accept responsibility for where you are right now. You want to blame someone. You want to blame the last diet you bought into. You want to blame the break room for having, tons of bakery and sugar, and the vending machine packed full of your favorite, whatevers. You want to blame all that stuff. If you would simply take responsibility, you push yourself into the present and you are able to analyze all of this stuff and realize, quite frankly, when it's happening, when it's not happening. It is so important as you grow and continue on your journey towards true wellness to accept yourself, to accept the failure, to accept responsibility. You have to do that. You have to have grace in your heart for yourself. Number one. Otherwise, you're not going to have grace in your heart for anything else. No wonder you feel like a failure. Stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming unfortunate situations and circumstances. And stop letting that prevent you from moving forward. Y'all, do you know how many people have failed? Well, all of us here, right? But how many big time people have failed? Let's toss out a list down in the comments. Man, I better see hundreds of comments here. I'm not just doing this because I want to. Thomas Edison has failed. Walt Disney has failed. Look at all the presidents that have failed. Go and look at people that have failed. Google famous people that have failed. There's probably pages and pages and pages, plus all of us. Many successful people fail all the time. That's how it goes. That's just how it goes. It could look different. I'm thinking of like a million things right now. Myself, my family, my super cool 3-time Olympian brother. We've all had failures. But we've turned it around. Bounce back. Pick yourself up off the ground. Dust yourself off. Find someone to help you. Get it together. It's never too late. I think when people are stuck in failure, two more things. You have lost your ability to ask, what can I learn? I love learning new things. I love to know the why. I like discussing the why. I like analyzing it. Even though I'm super creative, I always want to know why and how can I learn from this? What's behind all this? What's the scene before? What's the prequel? And how can we take that and learn from it? Failure is one of the greatest teachers you will ever have, my friends. Mistakes are glorious. But many of you just don't think that way. You don't have the guts to even say those words out loud. So they give you the opportunity to think, okay, what would I do different next time? Instead of letting failure be a burden and weigh you down, you look at it as a stepping stone and you step on that thing up the next step. So I promised that there was like one singular thing that was going to wrap this all together. And I was also hoping to be under 30 minutes. So let's go. You ready? In order to have this all come together, and in order to learn from all of this, and in order to take it and move forward so that you're feeling better, making better choices, you gotta have a plan. Guys, I talk about the plan all the time. I designed a planner about the plan. I broke it down into 90 days so all of you wouldn't be freaking out that, oh my God, I don't know if I can do it for 365. So I've broken it down, and some of you already are ordering your second planner. You have to create a plan to move forward, to be better, to do better, to succeed. No one out there that is succeeding with their weight loss, with their career, with their sport, with their passion, with their craft, whatever, without a freaking plan, okay? No, and no. You have to identify your mistakes. You have to identify how you can learn from them. And then you make a plan, and it's glorious. And the plan involves all sorts of things that we have talked about because we mention my wellness planner all of the time. Y'all need to plan. That's all you need. You don't need another stinking diet. You don't need, you probably don't even need another book at this point. I know a lot of you read books. You probably don't even need another podcast. You just need a plan. You don't know how to make the plan, or you're resistant to making the plan, and so you don't know how to do it. I really suggest you pick up one of my planners, heathercentrioni.com. In the shop, get one. We're making tweaks and gonna have a new, an improved, bigger and better version, because why not? and there are a couple mistakes in here. Did I take it as a failure? No. How can we do better? I said instead. I didn't freak out. I mean, I have read classic books that have been published 9 million times over that have spelling mistakes in them. So, I mean, stuff's gonna happen, my friends. So, you have to create a plan, the plan. And the plan, my friends, is your plan. It's for you. It's probably not gonna work for anyone else. That's the secret sauce too. So, there you have it. Man, I've missed you guys. Last week on the blog, we had recipes. Don't know if you saw them. Go catch them, because all y'all are like, where's the cookbook? I hear you. I'm working on things. One thing at a time here. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Do me a favor. Share this with your friends. Text it to someone. Tag someone in it. Give someone else the love today, because I know that there are so many of you out there that are feeling failure. And it doesn't need to be that way. I promise. I know it. I live it. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. As always, I ask you to be well and believe in you.